Okay, so I think I left off on the Chicago portion. So anyway, we moved to Chicago, still drinking and partying. You know, we knew about God. We would pray to him, but with us being out there doing craziness and not listening to him and what he wanted for us, you know, we put ourselves through that much more turmoil. So his best friend's sister ended up letting him go for whatever reasons, and he got a job in Florida. So we moved down to Florida. Again, still partying, no care in the world, just doing our thing. I still hadn't really dealt with my dad issue. I had stopped talking to my dad for a long time. I didn't want anything to do with him. You know, if I ever called and needed something, he acted like he either didn't have it, couldn't give it to me. It was always an excuse. But, you know, or he'll say, like, I remember one day I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm trying to get a new car. And my dad always buys cars from auctions. He works at a bank, but in his side hustle, he'll buy cars from auctions. He'll fix them up and sell them, for profit. And I was just like, hey, I need a car. When are you going back to the auction? Blah, 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 the whole bit. Or just send me some money towards my down payment. He was just like, oh, I don't have it. I just gave $3,000 to this person and I had like $5,000 here. And I'm like, all of these excuses, but I always felt that he owed me everything that he had. It shouldn't have never been any excuses. That's how I felt. Meanwhile, I'm still not getting any sleep. I don't know if he's getting any sleep or not. I don't know. But I would assume that he's okay. So anyway, we were in Florida. And then one day, I got a job at like a cruise line. And I met some really nice young ladies there. And they all happened to go to the same church. So I said, okay, whatever, I'll go. I grew up in the church. I haven't been there in a while, but whatever, I'll go. That's how I felt. So I went to church. And I felt better when I left. So my husband says, we have all these issues, but we've never tried God. Like we've never just 100% said, I'm giving every single thing to you. And I said, yeah, you're right, but whatever. I still wasn't really trying to hear it. So then we went back to church. I was just like, well, let's go again. It wasn't that bad. So we went to church again, and I just started feeling it. I was just like, I need to change. So we joined the church in Florida, and we said that we was going to give God our 100% all, and we were going to let him control our life versus us trying to control everything for ourselves. So it worked. It felt good. Rededicated our life. It felt great, but something was still missing. So my husband proposed to me probably a year after getting into church and, all that kind of stuff. He proposed to me. Then he ends up getting a job in Charlotte. And like I said, everything was good in Florida, but something was missing. So when we moved to Charlotte, one of his coworkers said, hey, well, you got to try. I think we tried 2 churches here. And then we went to that church and we fell in love. It's One Way Baptist. If anybody's from Charlotte and you're looking for a church home, it's One Way Baptist on 3501 Tuckasegee Road. So I just always still felt something missing in my life. So when I went to One Way, I met so many people that were just like, I don't think I've ever met a group of people that treat you like family before they really even know you. You know, they embraced us. They said if we ever need anything, let them know, which was really good. And I think that's what I was missing. I was missing because I've never really felt that family connection, and I've never felt a part of a family, like just a genuine loving family that just, everything just feels so warm. So anyway, I talked to my pastor about my past and what happened with my dad and stuff like that. So he says, have you ever forgave him? I was like, no, he's never really, for what, And he said, what are you still mad about? I said, well, he's never apologized. I'm not a type of person to hold grudges. And I know the Bible says that, we're supposed to forgive and move on and things like that, and God will get his revenge. So I never wanted to send my dad to jail, but I still never got an apology. I said, so I haven't forgiven him yet. How can I forgive somebody who hasn't apologized for what they've done? So he told me to read Luke chapter 17 and just, where's it, chapter 7? It's either 7 or 17. I think it's 17. I'm sorry, y'all. It's the brain thing. Anyway, so he said, just keep reading it, meditate on it. So I kept reading it, and it was about forgiveness. So I called my dad one day. He was like, hey, because I had talked to him in a long time. I was just like, hey, talked to him for a little bit, caught up, see what he was doing, things like that. He said he's been thinking about me. He was going to church and he was praying. I was like, whoa, okay. So I told him, I was like, well, I forgive you for everything you've done and the whole bit, and we made up right there on the phone. I know it's hard for some people to be like, how could you, that was your father, but, it's my decision. And at that point, I felt whole, because once I got my family, it was still a small part of me that didn't really feel complete. And I'm trying to hold it together because I don't really cry in front of people. But once I told him that I forgave him, I felt complete. There was nothing else missing in my life. I had my husband, I had my family, and I had my sanity. And I no longer felt alone ever in my life, like as much as I did in my life. I'm sorry. I didn't feel alone anymore. So God brought me through an entire journey of just, me trying to find my way to him. And I found my way, and I'll never turn back. So when we went through our first thing of in vitro and it failed and I cried, I'm just like, why? I've been through so much. All I want to do is be a mother. Like, I've been through enough. That's how I felt. But I think, how I said in my other video, from the first transfer, I think I kind of, I didn't forget about God, but I think I just put other things before him, and he just wanted to remind me that you are where you are because of me. So I'm just here to tell anybody, if you are going through something, just trust God. It was a point in my life where I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I thought I was going to always feel alone. I thought I was going to always be in a club, turning up bottles and getting drunk and, doing my thing or whatever. Because that's how I felt complete, even though I still felt empty, if that makes sense. So, if your husband or yourself or whatever. If if the finances are down because somebody's lost their job, you're about to lose your home, in vitro failed, you're depressed because of something that you've been through in your life, I'm just here to tell you, just lean on God, because he'll always win. He'll always bring you out. If I didn't go through all of that, I wouldn't appreciate this IVF journey like I do. I wouldn't, I would take it for granted, like, oh, we just went ahead and got pregnant through, everything worked out. This is a moment that I'll always cherish and I'll always love, and I will never take for granted, because I've been through so much and I was able to bounce back from the failed IVF because I have been through so much, and I know God brought me through all that, so I knew he would be able to bring me through a failed IVF. And I'm just praying to him now that we can get through a full healthy 9 months and a safe and healthy delivery. But I just want y'all to know that don't ever give up. He's always there. If anybody needs prayer, hit me up on my email. I don't want to put my telephone number out here, but email me. We can pray together. If anybody needs anything, if you are feeling depressed because you've had several IVF cycles, just know this is your story. This is how God has it written out, and it's for a purpose. It's so that you can tell somebody else whose story is similar to yours or maybe worse than yours or whatever. So, yeah, that was just like a brief little tidbit on my life, little testimony. Oh, wait a minute. A little testimony. So I think that's about it. I don't think I have anything else to say, and I'm so surprised I didn't cry. And I think I didn't cry because I've just let it all go, y'all. I feel so whole. I feel better. I have I'm not leaving Charlotte because my family is here. Again, I love my family in Texas, but this is where I feel complete. I don't feel lonely. I know I can go around a corner to my church or call somebody at my church and they'll be here for me. I have my husband. I now have a baby. I have my dog. I have God. So everything's good. Everything's good. Life is good. And everything that I've gone through just made me stronger for this moment and moments in the future. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's just my life story. And I'm glad that I was here to share it with you guys. And I hope to bless somebody and touch somebody. Enjoy your day, ladies. I'll be back on Wednesday to give everybody a update on the beta numbers. Bye.